New shows, new hosts, new realities, true conversations, trustworthy ideas, shared passionately on your number one talk station of the nation. Nigeria Info 95.1 Abuja. Let's talk. The current affairs. The Current Affairs Show provides a new scope to the details of politics.
Actually participated in the governorship election.
Rollout vaccination in 4 people.
Let's stay away from the sides of the story and go deeper together. Let's talk. Weekdays at 8 a.m.
On 95.1 Nigeria Info Abuja. Let's talk.
The Current Affairs Show.
This is Morning Crossfire. On 95.1 Nigeria Info.
The time is 8 minutes past 8 a.m. right here on Nigeria Info 95.1 Abuja. Time for us to move into another conversation. And today we'll be looking at reviewing the salary and wages of Nigerian workers. The salary and wages of Nigerian workers, it's been a subject of concern and debate over the years. Nigeria is a country with a diverse economy, but it faces various challenges in terms of income inequality, inflation, and overall economic development. Some key points to consider would be what the minimum wage is, what's the public sector getting in terms of their wages, the private sector wages, the cost of living in Nigeria right now, income inequality, and so on and so forth. If I were to ask you, how much were you earning a year ago? Have you gotten an increase? Have you ever asked for an increase from your employer? And what response did you get, if any at all? Were you threatened to be dismissed so that they can find somebody who would be paid the same thing you're earning or maybe even lesser? And if there's a good time to ask for a raise, trust me, now is a good time. But the concern and the question would be how many businesses, how many employers will be able to afford to give you a raise? How are you coping in these times? If you haven't gotten a raise at all in a really, really long time, one can only imagine how you're able to make ends meet going by the way things are playing out in terms of the economy, the increase in pump price, and so on. And if your employer has given you a raise, well, maybe you're part of the lucky few. Now, the Senate President, Godswill Akpabio, has said that salaries of workers in the private sector will be reviewed as a way of cushioning the effect of petrol subsidy removal. The pump price of petrol has continued to surge across the country since the president's pronouncement May 29, which was subsidy is gone. And right now, in the FCT, you can purchase fuel for as high as 617 naira and maybe higher in other parts or lesser depending on what part of the country you are purchasing from. Now, while he hosted the governor of Ekiti State, Akpabio said the country would not have survived the next few years if subsidy was still in place. In his words, quote, Nigeria as a country would not have survived the next few years if subsidy was not removed. Salaries and wages of workers would be reviewed in order to ensure that Nigerians have a living wage. Question: if it's reviewed and we see a surge still in the price of petrol, would we constantly have to wait for an increase to be able to mitigate that or cushion the effect that would have on the average Nigerian worker? And what happens to the large population working in the private sector? Because you cannot force the private sector to increase if the economic realities do not or does not support their business growth. If they're suffering any losses, what would happen typically is to relieve workers of their duty. And that would lead to the rising number of unemployed Nigerians. Some people have had to quit their jobs, comparing what they spend and what they earn. And if it makes no sense, as opposed to stressing every other day, some people say it's better to look for something else to do. But how easy is it to even get a job in Nigeria? And that'll be the focus of our conversation today. The increase, the review. Is that what we need right now? Is it going to be good enough? The NLC has constantly spoken on that, but this would typically only focus on civil servants. What happens to other people? How would they be able to make ends meet if this review or increase does not affect them directly? 0700 951 0000 08095974869. Those are the numbers to call on WhatsApp. It is 08099930137. We're also live right now on YouTube and Facebook at Nigeria Info Abuja. So you can go on to our live feed right now to join the conversation. And we're focusing on reviewing the salary and wages of Nigerian workers and how much impact that would have on the average worker. Would it change anything, or would it just be business as usual? And how much is even good enough if you were to ask for an increase, if you were to ask for a review of your wages? How much is good enough? And we've seen people try to work multiple jobs in a bid to make ends meet because one job is unable to pay for their needs or their wants. I mean, we also see that there's been an increase in the cost of transportation. We see rent has gone off the roof right now. To get an average apartment in the city, trust me, it can drive you wild if you don't have a house of your own. So all of those would also need to be put into consideration when reviewing the salary of Nigerian workers. Let's get to the phone lines and hear what your thoughts are. Good morning. Are you there? I can barely hear you. Sorry about that. If you can, do to call back or simply call on WhatsApp if that is an easier means for you to get through. Good morning. All right, your connection is not getting through. If you can, call back.
Yes.
Good morning.
Hello, good morning, Mr. Itodo.
Good morning. What's your name?
Good morning. My name is Felix Fortune, calling from Matana.
Go ahead, Felix.
All this salary increment, is it the best way? It's not the best way to go now. After all, how many percentage of Nigerians are working in civil service? The worst of all is that some of us that are doing business, when those who are working with us hear this, what they are paying, they want us to pay them exactly what they are paying. Whereas, where do we get our own from? What do we benefit ourselves from government? Those about over 75% of Nigerians that are not in the civil service. What is our own? Like when you hear palliative, sometimes I ask, how do they determine where they are sharing palliative? What is palliative? The only one I know that is beneficial to people is that when you buy vehicle, buses, and put for it. But when they say, how can they bring something that is affecting everybody? They say everybody are going to the same market and they would say they want to increase salary. Do you know that when it was 18,000 minimum wage, some people go on with 300,000. Some people thought that when you hear 18,000 or 30,000, they are going. There are some people that their salary is 350,000 take home. And they will be the same. Let me tell you, my brother, we here in the private sector, there will be a day that people will wake up and see 25 kg of rice at 100,000, 50 kg at 250. We will not complain because we will try to tap from the salary that the government. Sometimes I ask myself, do those people think? Oh, they don't think. How many people are working that are benefiting from? Some of us are Nigerian, but they are just Nigerian by name. Which one is our own? Even those that are working in that radio house, how much did they pay them? Some of us know very well how much. It's only that Nigerian people, maybe because they do a lot of things. Ask other whether pen and paper and electronic media. They are not. In fact, some of them for 5 years now they pay them half salary. So I'm fine out. I'm not telling lies.
All right,
Some
Felix.
people wake up and say they want to increase to over 500%. What about other people that are not working in this civil service?
All right, Felix, right there asking all the important questions. Good morning.
Hello. Good morning, Deacon Itodo.
Welcome.
How are you doing?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you?
Fine, thank you. I'm good.
What's your name?
My name is Elvis.
Welcome,
I'm calling
Elvis.
from my town this morning.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Did I hear you report that Senator Fabio said they will review the salary of workers in the private sector?
In the public sector, public service workers.
Okay, in the public sector.
Yes.
Then my question is, how about the workers in the private sector?
Hence the conversation.
Are they not Nigerians? Are they not Nigerians? Are they not feeling the effects of subsidy removal? Are they driving their cars with water? You know, first of all, I will also want to ask, what's the percentage of workers in the private sector, in the public sector? What's the percentage compared to those in the private sector and those who are doing their personal businesses? We joke a lot in this country. The truth is that these people don't care about us. Yes, they have removed the subsidy. Ask me, does the Senate president use his personal money to buy fuel in this country? Does he use his personal money? Some of them, for the past 24 years, have never used their personal money to take care of anything concerning their lives and their family members, including hospital and school fees. Some of them, for the past 20-something years. So when they talk, at times I wonder the kind of planet they are living. At times I wonder the kind of country they have found themselves in. They look as if heaven and hell is on earth. That once you're in God, you're already in heaven. Once you're out of government, you are in purgatory hell. That is the attitude which this so-called leader is exhibiting.
All right, Elvis.
And it is quite unfair. Thank you for this opportunity, Itodo.
Elvis, have a good one. Good morning. Can you hear me?
Good morning.
Good morning. What's your name?
My name is Obongwan from Nigerian.
Abangwan, can you move from your device? I'm getting a feedback.
My radio is off already.
All right.
Keep it off. Go ahead. I just want to say, based on our leaders are doing, to me, somehow, at times, our leaders, like the people traveling to this country, meeting, based on traveling to country for a meeting, they don't discuss like this. How do they leaders in other countries they help their citizens? Is it how they do? Is it how other countries do to their poor people? And I said, it's somehow that just yesterday they increased price to 5 more, and today again they're increasing around to 620 to 610. How do they go on to cope? They travel almost every day. They travel from this country to this country, meeting to meeting to meeting, and the company still remain the same the way. And Papa, you should know that the people that put them into the power. You have a nice day.
All right, thank you, and have a good one as well. Are you there? Good morning. You sound a bit distorted. Can you change positioning and see if that helps? All right, I'll have to can barely make out everything you're saying. I'll let you go, and you can call back or call a different number so it's easy to hear your contribution. But in 2019, the minimum bill raised the minimum wage to 30,000 naira per month. Now, comparing the standard of living in 2019 and 2023, totally different. And that's why there's a call by the NLC for the government to review the minimum wage. As high as 200,000 is what their request is. And, there's been the committees, meetings, conversation that's ongoing. But what does this do with the private sector? How can we ensure that everybody is carried along and no one misses out, wherein everyone can live comfortably based on the wages that they are getting?
Let's talk about the big conversations made of trustworthy ideas, passionately connected to everyone. Let's talk Nigeria.
My name is Elder Emma Okoro. I'm interested in rebuilding my nation, and so I have to join the beginning of cleaning of the environment. The Gariki environment here is totally filthy and unhealthy for people. So when Mayor Fortune decided that Abuja should come out, I decided to join because it's for the good of our people, our children, our wives, and our families. That's why I'm part of this group, so that I'll be part of those who have started the journey to rebuild Nigeria.
In case you are wondering, well, my name is Fortune. I'm the mayor of the FCT, and I'm excited about this initiative. I believe it's going to be a big one. This is the first of many who are coming to your area very soon. So we expect you to come out. We expect you to put your hands on the plow. It's high time we stop complaining. Let's get something done. If the government is refusing to do it, or they are overwhelmed because they can't do everything, let's do what we can do, and then we hold them accountable for the rest. I think that's what this is about. It's not about politics, it's not about anybody. It's about people coming out to do what they believe they can do to help the society and the environment at large. That's the drug for us, and that is why we are here. I'm excited, and I thank you for joining us. Thank you so much.
Nothing breaks the news like the news. Trust me, I can prove it. I do it every morning on Morning Crossfire, 5 a.m. to 9 a.m. on Nigerian Info 95.1, and I'm Femi D. Abede. Join the biggest conversation around the national politics every day. The way that's trustworthy, full of passion, and yes, covers biggest politics and the stories that matter to you. See, you have all the reasons to find out what's going on in Nigeria and be again differently. Let's talk. That's the way to go, even this morning.
Hello, my name is Kimberly Machuku. I'm the host of Hard Facts, and I think the biggest stories driving conversation every weekday here on 95.1 Nigeria for Hard Fact Show. I love to get your opinion and conjectures, but the facts you cannot dispute here on Hard Facts. Join me and let's talk.
I keep my sunny side up so they can see me from above. I keep my sunny side up.
My name is Elder Emma Okoro. I'm interested in rebuilding my nation, and so I have to join the beginning of cleaning of the environment. The Gariki environment here is totally filthy and unhealthy for our people. So when Mayor Fortune decided that Abuja should come out, I decided to join because it's for the good of people, our children, our wives, and our families. That's why I'm part of this group, so that I'll be part of those who started the journey to rebuild Nigeria.
in case you are wondering, well, my name is Fortune, I'm the mayor of the FCT, and I am excited about this initiative. I believe it's going to be a big one. This is the first of many who are coming to your area very soon. So we expect you to come out. We expect you to put your hands on the dial. It's high time we stop complaining. Let's get something done. If the government is refusing to do it, or they are overwhelmed because they can't do everything, let's do what we can do, and then we hold them accountable for the rest. I think that's what this is about. It's not about politics, not about anybody. It's about people coming out to do what they believe they can do to help their society and the environment at large. That's the trust for us, and that is why we are here. I'm excited, and I thank you for joining us. Thank you so much.
Nothing breaks the news like the news. Trust me, I can prove it. I do it every morning on Morning Crossfire from 5 a.m. to 9 a.m. on Nigerian Info 95.1, and I'm Femi D. Abede. Join the biggest conversation around the national politics every day. Very trustworthy, full of
Your Let's Talk station.
Well, it's 8:30 right here. Let's get to some of your thoughts and comments. Ogunlade Taiwo Johnson. Good morning. Reviewing government staff salary. What happens to those in the private sector and people who do petty jobs to care for their families? Our leaders need something before it's late. Pastor TJ from Dubai. You can join the conversation live right now on YouTube at Nigeria Info Abuja. Don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube. We're speaking about the salary of Nigerian workers and reviewing salary. What difference would that make? Is that the best approach to handle what is currently ongoing? And those who do not get a review on it, as the case may be, how would they be able to cope with the harsh realities that the country is currently facing at this point in time? Let's check out what's up right now and take some of your thoughts. The two things government can subsidize that would affect the rich and the poor is fuel as well as foodstuff. No other palliative can go round. Talking about increasing salary for civil servants, how about those that work different? Will the government do the right thing to avert what is coming up? And that is bribes from Airport Road asking that question. I don't think there's any plan for Nigerians. For me, asked for salary increment, but not get anything or any back till date. Annie Joe, you should ask again, send that reminder. It's important for you to follow up on that. And Pat says, on the issue of collectoral pay of subsidy removal by all, I remind that many of us who did not understand the percentage of subsidy advocated its removal even before the withdrawal. Now that the monster has been withdrawn, we all have come to the realization the subsidy policy by the government was a blessing from them to us as citizens of an oil-producing nation, which even our neighboring countries were envious of us for. I'm sure that we have had some unsavory bites of discomfort from not enjoying the benefit of subsidy. For this, we will better value and appreciate governance if restored, or anything for that matter done to cushion the hardship of the withdrawal. Now, it is obvious that Nigerians like to learn and appreciate the hard way. That's what Patrick in. Let's get to you. Good morning.
Good morning, Itodo. Thanks for.
We're good. How are you?
Fine. My name is Musa. In respect to this subsidy,
yes.
Those of us in the private sector, honestly, before you actually brought this topic, I was cracking the brain already because I was in a rush to increase the review area of my workers. And, at the end of the month, when we sat down to look at our cover, we realized that we will hardly continue with the number of workers we have, or except if we have now reviewed it downward, because the review was at 80%. At 80%, some of them who outside they stay at the outskirts, they struggle to come to work, what I observed.
Okay.
So I just saying, I don't know whether government will find it supporting those of us in the private sector, particularly those of us in the oil and gas, because our turnover has dropped drastically. If you are selling maybe 45,000 liters in it, we hardly sell 40,000 liters in an outlet in 3 days. In fact, and I even of that, even the rich also cry. There's a particular agency that we are into a connection with them. They have 46 directors and 59 directors who they are get the coupon to take fuel. You know that some of us drive with that coupon to come and convert to cash and go away of taking fuel, which means that they now prefer cash than even before they normally burn because it's a weekly allocation from it. Now, they come with the coupon take fuel in the past. Now, they actually come get the coupon from the office, but they will come, they will now find a way from the boy, convert it to cash and drive away.
Now, Mr. Musa, where you going? Is that even allowed? Because the coupon is specifically for the product, but are they allowed to collect from you instead?
You know, the problem with this country is that you can see as I said, they are selling my house. So which means why the people you have engaged to manage these places for you, they prefer it that way because there's this a called the bank. Maybe the sharing is true between people on ground and whoever. Because they realize that by the time you sit down to look at the coupons on ground, coupons, they should have taken, like, for example, 20-something liters of oil. But you realize that before the scaling tax, the money has been exchanged, and it is none of our business because already have money with us. So if they come, if somebody is supposed to follow, for example, 3,000, and probably he's give me 45 or give me 40, and then just collect coupon, then deposit it as I've taken for. You see, these are some of the things. I tell you that our spends have dropped almost by 60%. We don't again. We don't spend.
Okay.
Many people like you should be coming to follow your terms.
All right, but thank you. Good morning. If you can do to call. You can also join the conversation on WhatsApp 08099930137 and on YouTube live right now at Nigeria or Abuja. So do to go on YouTube and join in. Morning.
Morning, Itodo.
How are you, sir?
I'm good. And you? How you doing before?
I'm holding up. Thank you for asking.
Yeah, we'll get past it. My name is Wilson Emmanuel.
Welcome, Wilson.
Yes, I'm from Metama. To share my thoughts and my concern on the Nigerian workers in the private sector. Itodo, you have no idea what Nigerian people are passing through in the hands of the capitalist. In other words, the private sector, especially the foreigners. There are some Nigerian workers working in these companies owned by these foreigners. To some, no proper engagement in relation to appointed that will have spelled out the term conditions of the engagement. They are working. Nobody cares about them. No healthcare insurance, no pension, nothing. They are just there working. Let me tell you personal experience. The company, they sacked me last year because I saw a company providing teleservices to telecom installation. When I came in, stay for a day, another day, a month, I was not given an appointment letter. And I walked up to another manager. So what's happening? Say, they are working on it. Long cut short. I was there 3 years. No appointment letter for Nigerians working on country. This is citizens. These are graduate masters and they are working. And these capitalists understand how loose our labor system is. They care not till now. Why I was let up here, it was because I took the matter to the Public Complaint Commission. And up till now, the man is not in there. I want to suggest that the Nigerian government should enforce regulations to check all these activities of private companies operating in it.
All right.
These are human beings.
All right, Wilson.
Please. Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning. Are you? It's hard to make up what you're saying. If you can, please call back. Thank you. Good morning.
Thank you, Itodo.
Yes.
I'm talking about this increment or something like that, especially for the first and the last caller, we are kind of saying Mr. Musa have income. I really sympathize. Mostly, if you are talking increasing the salary government worker, how about the others, the private sector?
Before you go on with telling me about that, can you tell me your name for the records?
Oh, Diki Itodo, Agaba Iwan. My name is Salasi.
Go ahead, Salasi.
You can imagine the ripple effect of this fuel hike. That the effect on Nigerians. Honestly, yes, it's against the increment of the salary for the civil. But how about the other people in the private sector? The people, do you know that some people collecting 25,000 as a salary? 30,000? And you could imagine some trouble maybe from Suleja to the town to work and to go back the same day. So I think something needs to be done. My own concern about all this thing is why is it that our refinery can? I made research this morning, Dickie. I made to understand that there are other African countries that doesn't have crude but refinery, like Ivory Coast, like South Africa. South Africa, 6 functional refineries. They are working. So you can imagine, I'm telling you, without this fuel increment, we have been hearing all this salary increment, and there are people who have been managing their life the way they are managing before. I think my own suggestion is that even that 8,000 naira they are thinking of giving the premium houses.
But that's under review right now.
Yes, I want to appreciate President for having a listening ear. For having a listening ear to Nigerians, to Nigerian about that 8,000 naira. They should put money in refinery. Keep watch. And if the president have the power to hire, he give them deadline. State of emergency. If I give you from someone to someone, if this thing don't go to work, I'm to fire you. That is how things work on the silent client. Thank you.
Thank you, Salah. Let's get to what's up right now and take some messages. Here, Manma Chukwuemeka says, salary increase is not the solution to our problem now. Nigerians are civil servants. How many states even pay the minimum wage? A total revamp of the infrastructure and repair of the refinery solve the problem. As for how much will be paid, I think the increase should be 5% of the total monthly income of a member of the National Assembly. That's what Chukwuemeka thinks. And Sonny from Niger State says, on minimum wages and subsidy saga, my thought is this. Federal government should provide a real palliative that will get to all the common on the streets, most especially those in the informal sector. 200,000 naira minimum wage increase inflation. Food and beverages should be subsidized as it's been done in other countries. Federal government should not push Nigeria to the point where people would react firstly. I pledge peace. Sonny from Niger State. Innocent from Araba says, Najati Mohammed says she met Tinubu in London to discuss about his blueprint, and he said have any. Okay. We should see what is playing out now. Judiciary is the hope of Nigeria. And Asab says our leaders should be providing good policies that will cushion the hardship in our country. Subsidizing means of transportation investment in agriculture with monitoring will benefit all Nigerians. And Willie says, I think is urgent is for refinery to be built after increasing salaries and the market force in international market goes up. Will it increase again? Build refinery? Willie thinks that's the solution to what's currently ongoing. But the NNPC, the chairman of the NPCL, the GMD, right, the NNPCL has stated that if refinery is working in Nigeria, doesn't mean that the price of petrol would go down. Market forces would be the ones to determine what would play out. This is a good place to leave the conversation right now with all the conversations ongoing with the NOC, the federal government, and various bodies. We can hope that everyone benefits from what decisions would be taken in the long run. Thank you so much for joining in. 8:45, we'll have guests in and we'll talk to them about what they are currently working on.
This is a sponsored program.
8:45 a.m. I've got Daniel and Joshua from PU Prime, and they had to talk to us about what they had planned out and what they are working on at PU Prime. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
Good morning to you.
How's your week out?
Awesome.
Is that the answer to that question?
Awesome, actually. And we've been talking about our upcoming program, so it's been a very interesting week. Yeah.
Give us a bit of insight as you do at PU Prime.
All right, so Prime, it's a globally regulated recruit firm with our headquarters in Australia, and then we have presence in over 20 nations around the world, including Nigeria. So what we aim at teaching people how to take advantage of the global market, and particularly how they can build a sustainable business.
Nothing breaks the news like the news. Trust me, I do it every morning on Morning Crossfire from 5 a.m. to 9 a.m. on Nigerian Info 95.